If you're searching for the ultimate comfort food that's both easy to make and irresistibly creamy, look no further than the creamy spaghetti bake with mushroom soup magic. This dish takes a classic spaghetti dinner to an entirely new level, combining the familiar flavors of pasta with the rich, velvety goodness of mushroom soup, all baked together into a bubbling, golden casserole that warms your heart and fills your home with mouth-watering aromas. Imagine coming home after a long day, the air outside tinged with the crispness of evening, and stepping into your kitchen to assemble a meal that promises both nostalgia and surprise. The creamy spaghetti bake is more than just a recipe. It's a celebration of simple ingredients coming together to create something extraordinary. At the heart of this magic lies a can of condensed mushroom soup, a pantry staple that transforms the texture of the sauce, infusing it with an earthy depth and a creamy body that clings lovingly to every strand of spaghetti. To begin, bring a large pot of salted water to a rolling boil. Toss in your favorite brand of spaghetti and cook it just until it's al dente, tender but still with a slight bite. The key to any great pasta bake is not overcooking the pasta at this stage, as it will soften further in the oven. As the spaghetti cooks, you can already sense the anticipation building, the familiar ritual of stirring the pot, steam rising and filling the kitchen with the promise of what's to come. While the pasta bubbles away, it's time to prepare the creamy sauce, the true star of the show. In a wide skillet, melt a generous knob of butter over medium heat. To this, add finely chopped onions and minced garlic, allowing them to sizzle and soften, their fragrance filling the air. Next, introduce sliced fresh mushrooms to the pan. As they cook, they release their juices, turning golden brown and intensifying in flavor. A sprinkle of salt and a dash of pepper coax out their savory character, while a pinch of dried thyme or parsley adds a whisper of herbal freshness. When the mushrooms are perfectly sautéed, it's time for the magic ingredient, condensed cream of mushroom soup. Pour the soup into the pan, stirring it gently so that it melds with the mushrooms, onions, and garlic. To amplify the creaminess, add a splash of milk or heavy cream, whisking until the sauce is smooth and luxurious. For a touch of tang and extra depth, you might stir in a spoonful of sour cream or a handful of grated Parmesan cheese. The sauce comes together quickly, thickening as it simmers, its aroma rich with earthy notes and the promise of comfort. Now, drain the cooked spaghetti and tumble it into a large mixing bowl. Pour the creamy mushroom sauce over the pasta, tossing gently to coat every strand. At this point, you can add other mix-ins to tailor the bake to your taste. Shredded rotisserie chicken for heartiness, steamed broccoli for a pop of color and nutrition, or even a handful of sautéed spinach for added greens. The beauty of this dish is its versatility. It welcomes whatever ingredients you have on hand, making it perfect for using up leftovers or sneaking extra vegetables into your meal. Once everything is combined, transfer the mixture into a lightly greased baking dish. Spreading it out evenly, the next layer is where the magic continues. A generous blanket of shredded cheese. Mozzarella offers that signature stretch and melt, while sharp cheddar brings a bold, tangy flavor. Feel free to experiment with blends of your favorite cheeses. A sprinkle of Swiss for nuttiness, a handful of Monterey Jack for creaminess, or a dusting of Parmesan for a salty kick. For an irresistible golden crust, finish with a scattering of buttery breadcrumbs or crushed crackers. This simple touch adds a delightful crunch that contrasts beautifully with the creamy interior, creating a bake that's as pleasing to the palate as it is to the eye. Slide the dish into a preheated oven and let it bake until the cheese is melted and bubbling, the top crisp to a golden hue. As it cooks, the creamy mushroom sauce thickens further, enveloping the spaghetti in a velvety embrace, while the flavors meld and deepen. The kitchen fills with a savory aroma that draws everyone in, eager for the first scoop. When the bake emerges from the oven, let it rest for a few minutes, just enough time for the sauce to settle and the flavors to marry. As you serve it, each spoonful reveals strands of pasta coated in creamy sauce, studded with tender mushrooms, and topped with a melty, crunchy cheese crust. The first bite is pure comfort. The earthy richness of mushrooms, the subtle sweetness of onions, the silkiness of the sauce, all coming together in a harmony of taste and texture. What makes this creamy spaghetti bake truly magical is its ability to adapt to any occasion. It's perfect for a cozy family dinner, a potluck gathering with friends, or even as a make-ahead meal for busy weeknights. It reheats beautifully, making leftovers just as enticing as the original serving, a rarity for pasta dishes. Plus, it's budget-friendly, relying on accessible ingredients that don't sacrifice flavor for convenience. If you're looking to elevate the dish further, consider customizing it with regional or seasonal twists. In the autumn, add roasted butternut squash or a handful of fresh sage for warmth. For a springtime version, toss in peas, asparagus, or fresh herbs like basil and chives. Meat lovers can fold in crispy bacon, diced ham, or crumbled sausage, while vegetarians can load up on roasted peppers, artichokes, or sun-dried tomatoes for bold flavor. Pair your creamy spaghetti bake with a simple green salad dressed in a zesty vinaigrette, and perhaps a slice of crusty bread to mop up every bit of sauce. A glass of crisp white wine or sparkling water with lemon completes the meal, transforming an ordinary evening into a celebration of comfort and togetherness. As you enjoy this dish, you'll find that it's more than just the sum of its parts. The mushroom soup doesn't merely add creaminess, it unlocks a nostalgic flavor that's both familiar and deeply satisfying, reminiscent of childhood dinners and cozy Sunday evenings. It's a reminder that sometimes the simplest ingredients can create the most magical meals. With each forkful, the stress of the day melts away, replaced by the simple pleasure of good food shared with loved ones. Whether you're feeding a hungry family, impressing guests with your kitchen prowess, or treating yourself to a solo night in, the creamy spaghetti bake with mushroom soup magic is sure to become a staple in your recipe collection, a dish you'll return to time and again whenever you crave comfort and flavor in equal measure. So the next time you find yourself reaching for that can of mushroom soup, remember the possibilities it holds. With a few pantry staples and a little imagination, you can create a meal that's not only easy and satisfying, but also a little bit magical. Let the creamy spaghetti bake become your go-to comfort food, a dish that brings people together and makes every meal feel special.